Hey, everybody! Welcome to our journey through the fascinating history of freedom and chains. So, democracy, right? It's supposed to be about freedom, equality, and all that good stuff we cherish. The Greeks gave it a shot, but let's be honest, their version was a little exclusive. Only a select few had a say. Fast forward a couple of thousand years, and we've got ourselves a whole new world with new challenges and opportunities. America, the land of the free, home of the brave, and birthplace of a democracy that promised something different, something better. Except things haven't exactly gone according to plan, have they? We've faced numerous setbacks and challenges. Remember when King George tried to impose an income tax of only 2%? It caused a war of independence. We fought for freedom from one kind of chain, only to find ourselves in another. Because while we were busy patting ourselves on the back for abolishing one kind of slavery, another, sneakier version crept in. Economic chains that bind us in ways we never imagined. And let's not forget the pension plans. Designed by the powers that be, they give us hope for the future. But in reality, they're just another way to increase their income. It's like saying, glad you realize normal earnings are all being taken off you, but invest in our schemes, we'll charge more and still leave the rest behind. Time keeps moving and so do the chains, but understanding our past can help us break free in the future. So, how did we get here? How did we find ourselves in this predicament where money dictates our every move? How did we go from give me liberty or give me death, a cry for freedom and independence, to can I interest you in a low-interest loan, a plea for financial survival in a system that seems rigged against us? Well, it starts with money, but not just any money, the kind that accumulates and concentrates in the hands of a few. More specifically, the unequal distribution of it. This disparity isn't just a statistic, it's a lived reality for millions. The gap between the rich and the rest of us? It's not a gap anymore, it's a freaking chasm, a divide so wide it feels insurmountable. It's not just a gap, it's a canyon. A vast expanse that separates the haves from the have-nots. The top 1% are hoarding wealth like it's going out of style, amassing fortunes that could solve global issues, while the rest of us are left fighting over the scraps, struggling to make ends meet. And that, my friends, is no accident. This isn't just bad luck. It's a system designed to keep us down. This imbalance of wealth translates to an imbalance of power. Money talks, and it speaks the language of influence. The super-rich get to write the rules, setting the stage for their continued dominance, rig the system in their favor, and by themselves influence. They shape policies that benefit them. They lobby for policies that benefit them, regardless of the consequences for everyone else. And what about us? Regardless of the consequences for everyone else. And what about us? We're left to pick up the pieces. We're stuck in this vicious cycle of working to pay for inflated costs, juggling multiple jobs just to stay afloat, all while the very people who created this mess are sipping champagne on their yachts, living lives of luxury. That, my friends, is the essence of monetary slavery, a system where the few thrive at the expense of the many, and let's not forget about pensions. Promises of a secure retirement are now in jeopardy, leaving many to wonder if they'll ever be able to stop working. Now, before you think I'm just some ranting, raving lunatic, let's talk history. Let's dive into the past and see how it shapes our present. Back in the 18th century, there was this dude named Beilby Porteus. Not a household name, but a significant figure nonetheless. He was a bishop, but not your typical fire and brimstone kind of guy. He was more of a compassionate leader, someone who saw beyond the pulpit. He saw the horrors of slavery and thought, yeah, this ain't right. He couldn't just stand by and watch the suffering. Porteus wasn't just about talk, he was about action. He believed in putting words into deeds, making real changes. He fought tirelessly for the abolition of slavery, using his platform and his voice to shine a light on the injustice of it all. He rallied people, wrote extensively, and never gave up. And you know what? He made a difference. His efforts contributed to the eventual end of the transatlantic slave trade. Today, we need our own Beilby Porteus. Modern heroes who can see the injustices of our time and take a stand, people who recognize that the fight for freedom didn't end with the abolition of chattel slavery. It's an ongoing battle. It's a fight that continues with every worker struggling to afford rent, every paycheck that barely covers the basics, every family crushed by medical debt wondering how they'll pay for life-saving treatments, every student drowning in student loans, burdened by the cost of education. Just like Porteous, we need to channel that same energy, that same righteous anger, and direct it towards the economic injustices of our time. We must unite, speak out, and take action to create a fairer world for everyone.